Brewers in PA.
My favorite group.
My first Sony beer group.
New Trail in PA group.
Yeah. We are live.
Okay,
we are on the internet.
Awesome. The interwebs.
We are live. If anybody's out there in the internet land, give me a thumbs up, say hi, let us know that you can hear us okay. We're going to share this a few times and get this out everywhere and then get started. So I have to remember to hit record, Mr. Steve.
Yeah, you should do that.
Let's test out some sounders. You guys can't hear that. You don't have headphones. I've got all kinds of sounders.
It must have been good though. Whatever it was awesome.
So I'm gonna do my little intro. I'm gonna go over our sponsors. So I'm gonna say introduce myself and Steve, and then before we do the guests, do the sponsors, and then I'll introduce you guys. Maybe wave at the camera since we have a camera now. We can say hi to everybody, and we'll go from there. How's that? That picture looks good. That's weird. The delay. Talking with my hands.
It was pretty good delay here.
Yeah, you did. Wave to the camera. All right. You guys can't see this either. Mike Fish says, congrats, fam and Locust Lane crew on the beer.
Thanks, Mike. I say it in the microphone.
There you go. Yeah.
That works better.
Remember, that's there.
Yeah.
Closer the better, probably.
Yeah. I
Just
can,
so you know.
I can move it away when I don't want anybody hear what I'm saying.
Yeah. Exactly. You guys good? You want to give this a shot?
Fire away.
All right. I'm going to hit the record button, and then I'm going to do, and hopefully everything goes well. Here we go.
The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Might Be Brews, episode 51, the podcast where we explore the people, places, and brews of the craft beer world. My name is John. With me, as always, Mr. Steve. How you doing?
All right, so I know this is going to mess you up because I'm going to get you all flow here. But we got something going on at the network that I got to give props to.
Okay.
I don't think people out there understand how tough it is to put out content.
Right, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
for somebody to put out content Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, that's not easy.
No.
So for everybody listening out there, get on John's OnlyFans because it is top notch. Monday through Friday, check it out.
That's a good one. That's a good one. We do got to give him a shout out. But before we introduce our guests, make sure you check out the brand new nbnnetwork.com. It's never been easier to find your new favorite podcast. And make sure you're following us on YouTube. Search NBN Network. Look for Taylor's new YouTube stream called Yesterday in 5 minutes. There we go. I'm already messing the flow up, but it's all right.
Just one.
Also, help us make the show bigger and better than ever. Become a patron on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/NBN Network. Sign up to get bonus episodes and entered into monthly giveaways and more. Also, shout out to our sponsor, Eunomia CBD. Use promo code NBN for 20% off. Free shipping and a free gift. That is EUNOMIACBD.com and our newest sponsor, Linode.com. Accelerate innovation with Linode's simple, affordable, and accessible Linux cloud solutions and services. Go to linode.com/MBN, create an account, and get a $100 credit. Today's guests, we have the guys from Locust Lane and FAM Artisan Craft Brewers. Tom, how you doing, Tom?
Great. Thanks. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for being here. We will get to you guys in just a minute. Tom, let's check in with you. How are things going at Locust Lane? We know everybody's had to pivot with all of the restrictions and things like that. But what are you guys doing to get beer out to people? And what's the latest that's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, we've been kind of rolling since damn near a year ago now. I mean, with, canning as much as possible, a little bit in kegs. And just doing the best we can to put new beers out. So our canning runs, which we're not lucky enough to have our own canning line, so we have to have Ironheart come in and do it for us. So we're rolling out every 4 or 5 weeks. We're trying to roll out fresh cans and new cans. Also getting involved in farmers market, like the one we have the one in Downingtown next week, for example, Malvern this week. Anything we can do, just kind of get out the door and sell beer and get people in here. We're also doing, more online stuff, shipping outside in the whole state. Delivery within 10 miles, things like that we never would have done before until we kind of got, our hand forced, right? So.
Oh, I think you guys have done an excellent job. I keep seeing all the new beers still coming out on a regular basis. Even you were talking about in private, we'll talk in a little inside baseball here. We were talking before.
Whatever, I didn't say it.
Coming out of COVID, you guys seem like you're really set up to do some great things out here. So what are some of the new things that you guys got going on here at the brewery that people can look forward to?
So yeah, we had a little come to somebody moment when the new year hit, and like, what are we gonna do here? I mean, things are gonna get better eventually. Like, how are we gonna change things to get people here and just be better? So the plan ended up being like about fivefold at this point. So firstly, we're working on building a deck outside for some outdoor seating, which COVID
awesome.
friendly, but just being outside is awesome. I don't know why there's not more outdoor seating in the world in general. Yeah. Most recently, we just bought a food truck, so we're gonna have our own food here finally, instead of begging people, food trucks to come, and maybe they show up, maybe they don't. Maybe the food's good. Maybe it's some dude like smoking something in the truck and doesn't want to give us food.
Right.
You never know what's going to happen.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, getting your own food truck, I mean, it's almost like, obviously it's a mobile kitchen, but then you also have the ability to maybe take it to events and do things outside the actual brewery.
Yeah, if there's something big enough, we'll go to it. I mean, the real goal is to just get people to come here and have more beer and stay longer. Like right now, with this COVID thing, most people aren't going out to multiple places generally. I mean, they're maybe going to 1 or 2 a night. So we were always like, go and have a beer, and then maybe they go out to dinner, and then maybe they have dinner and then come here after. We weren't really a dinner place. Now, hopefully we can be more of a, you can sit and do all three, I guess, Yeah,
absolutely.
That's the goal.
That's awesome.
Is this going to be a specific truck? Is it going to feature many different foods?
I mean, we got a general menu. I mean, it's going to be just basic, high-end bar foods to plan, right? So like, wings and poutine and, a good roast beef sandwich and a good
poutine.
porchetta pork roast sandwich, and trying to think of some other, like things like obviously got to have a burger, and everything will match up well with the beer. I mean, my tagline on the thing is it's food for the beer, really. I mean, you're coming here for a beer and having some food. That's the goal.
Shout out to Nick running back and forth.
Nick's working. He's hustling here tonight.
So you guys have been involved in a lot of really cool charity stuff lately. And I wanted to talk about it. You guys, if people don't know, you guys are a big Penn State family here.
Yeah.
That's part of the Locust Lane name, right? That's like the street in State College?
That's a street. Well, yeah, that's a street where their fraternity is on. So Locust Lane, and actually the name of the food truck is going to be Foster Ave Carvery, which is the intersecting street that the corner of the fraternity's on. So yeah,
very cool. So Thon is a big thing every year for Penn State, and you guys did the Dancing Diamonds beer and campaign. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it goes back. So Jason and Brian, the other two owners, Jason was the overall Thon chairman in 1990, whatever the hell it was, 96, wow. And Brian was on his overall committee along with a couple other guys in our fraternity. So they've been really into it for a very long time. And then, we did it last year and we're doing it again this year. So basically $3 from every 4-pack, we're donating a Thon. And on top of that, we've been collecting donations. We donated $5,000 this year to Thon.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that's one of the charity things we're doing. Actually, the other one's Penn State related is that Community Cup that we were talking about a little bit earlier. This month we're actually doing the Adam Talaferro Foundation. If you know who Adam Talaferro is, he broke his neck playing for Penn State in 2000. Yeah. And then by some miracle, 6 months later, the kids walk in again.
Yep. Wow.
So he does a foundation that benefits, I'm pretty sure it's McGee, where he did his rehab work, McGee Hospital in Philly.
Okay. Yep.
And then I think it's more specifically related to sports injuries that are spinal cord related. So that's our charity for this month. So every month we're donating $1 every pint. And we're selling these community cups that are $20 a cup, and 10 goes to the charity. And tennis to pay for the expensive cup.
Yeah. Are they to bring the cups back in? Do you
You-
want to use them for the beer?
We would love to if we were allowed to reuse cups,
Yeah,
these
right.
days. But I mean, so if you bring it in with you, and show it to us while you're here, that we donate $1 every pint
Perfect.
that we serve to you.
Very cool. What about as I was walking back and forth here, I saw those Black is Beautiful cans.
Right.
How did you get involved with that, and what's going on there?
So yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of breweries got involved in it this year when, and everything was going down over the summer. But Jason, one of the owners, he's black guy. His dad's black, mom's white. Looks just like Brian Gumble. That was one of his nicknames in
Right.
college. His brothers actually looks even more like Brian Gumble. But so yeah, like it was something near and dear to him, and just everybody in general, but obviously very specific to him. So yeah, we did the original Black is Beautiful and raised about $3,000, and we did a second one here. That first one, we already have applications out to the local school districts, looking to do a $3,000 scholarship to a minority in need student going to college this year.
That's amazing.
So this current one is for $3,000 for the next year, and then we're just gonna try to do one a year that raises $3,000 every year
Wow.
going forward. Not a one-time thing.
That's incredible. It's really neat to see. Like, you think about, a lot of people are talking about breweries just trying to stay above water in these times, but you guys are still stepping up to the plate and just giving back to the community. It's amazing.
You got to think long term. You can, sometimes maybe you're not making money now, but if you don't do the right thing now, you're screwed later. So
Yeah,
we're sticking with it.
that's awesome.
I want to hear a little bit about where we're sitting, because I see a lot of
So
barrels behind us.
one of the other long-term kind of plan things. So we've become a host for a blendery. So it's called the Furrow Blendery, and it's being run by Dan Pompernak. Do you know who Dan is?
No.
Of ex La Cabra fame. He started La
Oh,
Cabra
yeah.
and then left La Cabra last June and was up at Pottstown United, and then left Pottstown in December. He lives about 3 miles down the road, and he approached us and said, I'm looking to get a blendery going. He's like, you got this extra space and a brew house that would work great for me. And so he's basically got a little desk over here, and he's got his he's starting a blendery. So he's already he brewed a saison today. He's working on a lambic. He's got goes. Actually, next week we're gonna put on tap it's gonna be a cucumber lime goes on tap of his next week, which will be very interesting.
Holy crap.
So help
Yeah, exactly.
definitely help educate me. I don't know about John or not. I won't speak for him. Blendery. Give me
So-
the difference between blendery and brewery.
So a blendery is like he's making a bunch of different types of beers and playing with a bunch of different, I guess, organism you'd say in the beer. So he's fermenting the goes that's right behind me. He fermented with a Quebec yeast just to kind of get the normal fermentation done pretty clean. And now he's got it on Brett, so it'll continue fermenting with Brett. And then other things will play around with like lactobacillus or different bacterias and just kind of let it sit and age in the wood. And then you'll get different flavors from different types, and then you can blend some of those together to make different types of beers.
So is a blendery all oak, or is it just taking different brews and adding different yeast and then combining them together?
I mean, it can be a combination of things. I think it's mostly oak just because of the time frame. I mean, for this, he can't use one of our vessels, stainless steel vessels, for example, sitting over here, using that and having stuff sitting around. Some of this stuff, like a lambic, is going to be like a 14-month wait. So putting it, buying some oak and letting it sit there for a longer period of time. Also keeping that, bacteria and whatever the hell else. I don't want that stuff in my fermenter as well.
Right.
So that's another reason it compartmentalizes the organism as well. So, but yeah, the goal is just to kind of make a bunch of different types of things and then mix the flavors together to get exactly the end result you want. That's the goal. He's just starting.
How many bottles or cans are you going to get out of a barrel like that?
So barrel, I mean, these are 120 gallons each. So 4 barrels in brewery terms.
Okay.
You get about a barrel, you get about 10 cases. So you get about 40 cases out of a barrel, out of one of these wooden barrels,
Wow.
for example. But I mean, it's going to be, it's a high end product. It takes a long time. It's going to be maybe in a 750, bottle with
Sure.
a cork and all pretty and whatever. So it's going to, it's going to be a little bit more than like a 4-pack, for example. Like you get that one bottle for maybe $10 when that's the equivalent of only like a pint and a half.
Sure.
So
That's exciting stuff. That's
Very.
cool that you guys are involved and helping out. And
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've only had a handful of blended beers, but every time it's just been awesome. Like
Yeah.
it seems like a really cool thing to do.
I'm looking forward to the results, and I know he's super fired up to be here and working on it. So
Yeah, I bet. That's really interesting. Well, one of the other things I saw that you're doing here in the brew house was a Girl Scout cookie tasting.
yeah.
How did that come about?
So that started last year, actually. The local Girl Scout troop approached us and said, "Can we sell our cookies at your brewery for the day?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." It's kind of odd having a bunch of little girls in the
Right.
in the brewery selling cookies and all, but yeah, we were having them here. I mean, kind of, I don't know whether saw it on like the interweb or whether somebody had the idea, but I mean, like, why don't we pair some of the cookies with some beer? So
Yeah.
we did it last year. And then as soon as they approach us again this year, I'm like, yeah, we got to do the same thing. So
Sure.
we picked out the beers that we thought would fit best with the different types of cookies. So we have 4 different cookies and 4 types of beer and a little bit of mix of everything, like the amber lager's in there, the stout I was just drinking in there, the Dank on Arrival is in there, and the other one is our Belgian quad. So
which cookies are they pairing with?
yeah,
Do you know the cookies
I
off the
knew
top
you
of
were
your
going to
head?
ask that, and I was trying to avoid that question.
Which one's going with the caramel
So
delights?
I don't know if we did. Do we do caramel?
I don't know.
Oh,
The-
that's
the
I think
picture,
we did the
circle-
caramel. So the caramel we did last year with the triple. This year we're doing the quad.
Okay.
That's like the Belgian
Yeah, yep.
one. The stout is always something chocolatey, so I think it's the s'mores.
Yeah.
Actually, it might not be the stout. Sorry, it's the imperial stout, not the
Okay.
Black is Beautiful dry Irish stout. The Dank is with lemonades.
Yep.
And the amber lager is with I know I remember it now.
You
It's
almost got
called
it, yeah.
Toast
You
Yay.
got
Have
it.
you ever had this cookie?
Yes.
You ever-
It's new this year.
yeah, and you ever have cinnamon toast crunch? You ever have that as a kid?
Yeah, of course.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Or
It's like a
or
gigantic-
yesterday.
It's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's a French toast cookie, yeah.
It was awesome. So I'm like, what is? I read it. I'm like, what is this? And then we had some here, and I had one. I'm like, ooh, this is awesome. So we did that with the amber. Yeah. So it's just a way to number one get some people in here and try some different things. Ours, number one, and then we sell some more cookies for the Girl Scouts, number two, and works out great for everybody.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I mean,
Yeah.
you can always go to a brewery and have good beers, but I think it's neat when people get creative
Sure.
and find a new way to enjoy it, get them to try different styles maybe that they didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm always surprised that when you do tastings or you're eating things with beer, how much things can change. Like when we did that Belgian beer day.
Yeah, when we had the different Belgian beers with different cheeses.
Yeah,
and-
like
Oh,
I was
that's
really
cool.
surprised.
Charcuterie.
Like just as an example, I was very surprised that you could sip a beer, take a bite of like a goat cheese with something, and then take another sip of the beer and
Yeah.
get a different experience.
Yeah. Cool.
So it's a lot of fun to do things like that,
Yeah.
and just it's much more of an experience than just having a pint or a taster.
Yeah, we're having a little more fun too. Like in St. Patrick's Day, we're taking our dry Irish stout, and one of them we're throwing the Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies in,
Ooh, yeah.
and then the other one we're throwing if you're familiar with Giadosi down in Westchester
Yeah.
Cupcakes, she made some special Irish cream cupcakes for me that I picked up today that are going in a stout as well. So
Oh, that's awesome.
we're gonna do like a little stout flight starting St. Patrick's Day. So,
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Did she go to school with us? I think she did. Okay.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, like
Yeah, she's from like Glenmore originally.
I like completely recognize her. Like
yeah.
we like
And it's named Thais. You don't have as many Thaises around here.
no.
Yeah.
I would never remember the name, but like
Yeah.
you definitely recognize her. But we went. I forget what we did. I think we did it for my my wife's job, but was it like right before Christmas? Maybe I forget. Maybe right before Thanksgiving. I think it was right before Christmas. We went there to pick up donuts or to pick up cupcakes.
Yeah.
And I'm like walking down the street, and I see a ton of people in a line, and it looked like a beer release,
Yeah.
like all the way down the street.
They gotta follow.
And I'm like, what are these people doing? Like, this is pretty crazy. I bet you they're picking up like Christmas hams or something. And then I walk up to the place. And I'm like, no, everybody's here. Like it's around the block coming to here.
Yeah.
But me and my girls walk all the way back around.
So
But they were moving quick.
Yeah.
Even though it looked like a huge line, they were just turning people out. But the cupcakes are amazing.
it's
Like,
unbelievable.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a craft. You can tell when you bite one of those things. It's incredibly well done.
And they're the nicest people ever too. Like her and her husband, their son and my son are on the same soccer team. That's how we met.
Oh, nice.
And we just chatted it up since then, and we just keep doing stuff. We did for Valentine's Day, we did 4 cupcakes and 4 beers together. as a pairing.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was,
Yeah.
I mean, it sold I think we sold 110 of them. It was ridiculous how many
amazing.
people came and picked up cupcakes. So
Yeah.
yeah, they have a following. It's unbelievable.
Can you think of anything else? I mean, I saw some mugs up there. You got a mug club?
Yeah. So Mug Club was the 3rd year already. First year was maybe 60 or 70 people. And last year we were 80 or 90. And this year we're 130. Just keeps getting big. Actually, we cut it off just to, play that fun scarcity game as breweries like to do, right?
Yeah.
But no, we 130 people that all kind of they get they pay, it's a small minimal fee, but then they get a gift when they come in. Like this year we did a folding camping chair with our logo on it for everybody. And then they get a 20 ounce pour for the same price as 16 ounce pour. And we try to do events for them throughout the year. A lot of fun.
I always think it's got to be really tough. This might be
right.
This might be a tough question, but I always wonder how breweries decide to do things like that. Like when there's exclusive clubs and you walk into a brewery and there's something on the tap list that's for members only.
Yeah.
How do you walk that line and make those decisions? Because you want to you like having that special experience for your core people, but also making sure that if somebody goes out of their way to visit your brewery, you're not turning them down for something they want.
Yeah. I mean, so we really haven't had anything where it's in somebody's face where they can't actually have what they're seeing. The only thing that they'll see the bigger mug, ooh, how do I get that? Oh, you got to be a Mug Club. And it's just, I mean, it's 4 ounces different. They can have the same beer, just a bigger mug. So it's really, it's not.
That's a smart way to do it. You're not really turning anybody away or giving special treatment, really, other than just a little bonus.
Just making somebody want that more when they see it. That's all. That that's kind of the thing, right? But yeah, it's worked out great. We haven't had no negative comments about it that I know of, but it does keep those people coming back. I mean, they're our core audience. They love being here. We throw gigantic parties for them in September, October. And actually the biggest thing they give us is feedback. Like we always do. Brian, the owner, he's like, it's start, stop, and what's the other one? Continue. So what are we doing that we need to start? What are we doing that we need to stop? And what do we need to continue doing that we're doing well? So that's a conversation we have with all. This year we did it over the course of 4 different weeks. Drove me nuts. Have the same speech every week. But usually we do one big party and we ask them and we just get a ton of awesome feedback from them. And it's super helpful.
Yeah, that's a really cool relationship to have. I always think that, of course, the liquid's always super important when you're talking about a brewery, but having an experience and finding your own unique way to grab a hold of your customers and your clients and to make them, almost feel exclusive, even though they're getting the same kind of treatment as everybody else. But I think selling the experience more than the actual liquid is huge.
Yeah. Jason will beat that drum all day. That's his thing.
And taking the feedback is huge too. Yeah. Not being too full of yourself and just getting hey, give me the feedback. Tell me what we're doing, what you think. I mean, I'm sure you guys are, working your ass off, but hey, what do you guys want to see? Or just like you said, that's awesome.
Yeah. I full of ourselves is something that will never happen here. I couldn't be more grateful that I'm actually still here doing this.
Right. Yeah.
4 years. I mean, we're almost at our 4-year anniversary and people are drinking stuff that I've been making for 4 years. And it's just unbelievable to me still.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if you want to call it lucky enough that you have a brewery that, whatever you want to call it, that starts with a T, that sells so many freaking cans that, they can probably do whatever they want and turn down what they want and have the attitude that they do. But I don't know, man, I think there's something to be said for having that awesome local brewery that's in the community that people want to go to, that can just, it's always doing community stuff and finding new ways to keep people coming in. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking of liquid that you make, why don't we talk a little about this beer that we're drinking, the Dank on Arrival? Why don't we talk about what's in it, what it is, and then we'll start talking about the two jokesters that might have helped you out with it.
Yeah, no, might have, yeah.
Well, real quick, this is the 3rd collab you've done with them,
third.
Right? Why do you keep letting them come in here?
Yeah. I don't know. They bring a lot of people with them, so it works out great for everybody.
Without microphones, we can really get into it.
Yeah,
right. Honestly, it's kind of sad this year we can't do. The last 2 years we did a Saturday where would you guys bring 250, 300 people in here on a Saturday? It was nuts. It would COVID central if it was nowadays,
right? Yeah.
But no, I mean the first year actually started out with Karamat from the Brew Down in D-Town contacted me and said, hey, we're looking to do this. We're doing the beer festival, and the People's Choice winner, we want to give them a first prize of making a beer somewhere. And we tried some other places, and everybody's kind of busy. And I'm like, we're busy too, but we'll fit it in. Like, let's see how it goes, So these guys won. What do we make that first year? B parts. That's right. So a honey IPA.
Yeah, honey vanilla. I remember that one.
Yeah, raw honey and lactose.
Last year was that orange sickle.
Last year was the orange where you guys peeled like 300 oranges, and then it made like almost like an extracty type thing out of that. And then this year we kind of actually went a little bit simpler. Actually, we just did a classic oat IPA with cashmere hop and some strata, cashmere in the background, strata in the foreground. Double dry hopped it. Added the hops kind of late in a cooler whirlpool, so like the bitters is not there, but you get the flavor of the beer. I mean, you see it's cloudy as all what now with the amount of oats we put in the thing. And yeah, I mean, it's good because these guys like help us push the envelope, like come up with ideas of stuff they do on their own, and like maybe we can do it, maybe we can't in our system. Like big systems are a little bit more, it's like a big boat. You can't really turn it as easy as you could a little boat.
Sure, right?
So, there are things that they're like, oh, we want to try this, we want to try that, and it like, all right, yeah, maybe we can figure that out. My first answer is a lot of things are like, yeah, we can't do that. And then like, give me about half hour and then come back and ask me again. Like, yeah, no, maybe we can make it work. And
Right.
that's how it's been for a lot of this stuff. So, we made an awesome beer again. I mean, I don't know if it's exciting for you guys the third time. Like, the first time you guys were like, you're like kids in a candy store, and second time probably the same. This year's it's just more low key. The world sucks right now, doesn't it? So just a little more low key. But and brew day is like a lot of hurry up and wait. So you just kind of you hurry up, mash in, and you sit around for an hour, and you hurry up and run off, and you sit around for an hour, and like it's just a lot of hurry up and wait. So we got to chat a lot, and made an awesome beer. Worked out great. So yeah.
I love the oat mouthfeel that you guys got from this. It's got a really great mouthfeel to it. The hops are coming through nice and clear. Great nose on there. It's very enjoyable.
Yeah, it's funny too. It keeps getting better. Like with a little bit more, any of these beers, you have one and have like another couple of days later, it changes a little because it mellows out. It's still pretty fresh,
Yeah, it's delicious. I think it's got a great balance. I love the hop combination here. It's just like that's
all these guys. That was
citrusy. I almost feel like I'm getting a little bit of like limey citrus from it. You know what I mean? I don't know what hop that is or what's going on, but
that's I guess the cashmere, right? I'll pass it over to these guys in a second. But the strata hop was one. The reason the name came around was you look up strata hops and all you hear is that it's dank. Yeah, dank, and I'm like, all right, well, the beer's gonna be dank, is what. So that's how the label ended up starting with. We just came on dank on arrival and kind of threw a little bit of like hippie type, like artistry into the label, and then put the Downingtown Malvern sign. And then we were canning in here the other day. They're like, oh, let's put 335 to 355 on the bottom of the can. So like without the 19 zip codes on the bottom of the can.
Nice.
Just having a lot of fun with it. I mean, the point is to have fun, and if that flows through, you're going to sell beer. People are going to like what you're doing. And if they like what you're doing, they're going to like your beer.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I definitely want to talk to these guys about this beer, but before we do that, you guys are always doing. I'm just going to keep almost giving you guys on the show, and then not, and then we're out of time. But Tom,
we got to get you some more.
You always do these game day IPAs, and I feel like they're always right on the line of, a C&D. But
we got that already.
Oh, could you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. You're in the club.
Embiid's agent wrote us when we had, and it definitely wasn't him. But we tend to pixelate a lot of people on the label. But this year, actually, the fact that we were going to do a baseball one this time of year, and there really weren't going to be fans in the stands. Maybe I guess they just changed that, of course, right now when we assholes. You can bleep that out if you want. But the
it's live. We can't.
Sorry. Hopefully my son's not watching. We ended up we were doing like the empty stands and like the cardboard cutouts. What we took, actually, speaking of our mug club, a bunch of them are actually sitting out there now. We went to a Phillies game 2 years ago and threw like a little tailgate and all went to the game together as a group. So all the pictures on the can are actually mug club members. That we took the pictures and made them look like cutouts and put them in the stands on the can. So
that's cool.
Hopefully none of them send us a cease and desist. We'll see. But
is that the same beer or does that evolve?
Is that? Oh no, it's pretty much the same. I mean, I'm constantly tweaking stuff. Like, oh, I like this. I want to try that. I like, so
it's a new can, but I'm just
generally-
curious if you're switching up the recipe
not
much.
much. No.
Okay.
No, same hop, same water profile, etc.
Remind me to tell you a Joel Embiid C&D story when we're off.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be great. But actually, I kept the letter. I want to frame it and put it up in the
That's a
tap
good
room.
idea.
Actually, so. But yeah, it's funny. Like he didn't even drink either. Like of all people, you think
Right.
he'd be the last one. But he's on social media more than the other guys. So.
Do you have any other new beers upcoming that you want to have the people come and check out?
Well, I told you about the Furrow blender he's having. His first beer is gonna be on tap next week, and more to come. For anniversary's 4 weeks away, so we're getting back out our farmhouse pills. That was awesome last year. A recipe that I got from a Bavarian farmer that I went to visit a couple years ago. And what else are you making? Belgian Wit's coming out, and more of his anniversary's coming back. That was actually in the Philadelphia Inquirer, like one of the top 10 beers when they did the ratings a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And then what the heck is the fourth one? I can't even remember, but it doesn't even matter. Oh no, the other one I know. The other one's on the verge of actually a crack cocaine type thing. It's a it's actually getting involved with Dan. He's doing it's a goes, but it's a tangerine goes.
Okay.
And it's gonna have a ton of tangerine, and the tangerine in it with that little bit of salty is gonna be like drinking Gatorade, but with alcohol in it. So
interesting.
The tangerine stuff's awesome. So yeah, that's the fourth beer coming out. And at the end of this month, actually we're gonna be canning that stuff, all that stuff again.
Oh wow. Yeah, very exciting stuff. Are you guys just to be clear, if people want to get a hold of your beer, you're doing delivery, they can order online, they can come in here. You guys have a really nice setup out here in the tap room. You've got dividers up, but you've actually put a couple tables in the brew house.
Yeah.
And thank goodness, we've got 60-degree weather coming.
Yeah.
It's going to start getting nice. You're going to have that outdoor space. When do you think the deck's going to be all ready?
Yeah.
Hopefully summer.
It's construction. So you know how that works. Whatever I tell, add 2 weeks, right? No, the goal, ideally by anniversary, which is 3-4 weeks away.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, yeah, it'll just depend on, township and et cetera, et cetera. But
sure.
No, we're looking pretty good. Honestly, probably like 3-4 weeks from now, it'll be up and running. Food truck probably won't be ready by then, but with all the permissions you need for that. So that'll be maybe 5-6 weeks out. And yeah, like you can get our beer our beers in Wegmans, our beers in Acme, our beers in Whole Foods, our beers all over the place. At least the ones that are, the stalwart name, the flagship names, like this Dank on Arrival beer is only here. We're not sending that anywhere.
Yep.
Well, that's not true. Wherever you guys want to send it, we'll send it, right? But it's not going through our distributor anyway for this one, unfortunately. But yeah, so the best thing is just check our website and see what we got. And if you're looking for delivery, throw your address in and we'll see if we can deliver. If not, we can ship it to you, if you're outside the radius that we're doing. So
awesome.
Whatever
Very
you want.
Stuff, man.
We like selling beer.
Yeah. Keep up the good work, man. The stuff's fantastic. We'll get you into the show.
Sounds good.
But keep up the good work, man.
I'm going to get you a beer, though. I'll be right back.
Awesome. Thank you.
No, I'll take the same thing.
So we can move on to the actual collaborators.
Yeah.
Stop, collaborate, and listen. The boys from FAM. So before we forget, Dank on Arrival. It's here now. Because you're listening. I'm pointing at the camera. Those people are listening now, but the podcast people will be listening in a week.
Yeah. Hopefully there's some left by the time you listen to this on a.
So if it's not sold out, get down here, grab your 4 packs of Dank on Arrival.
So tell me, guys, what went into designing the recipe? How do you guys come up with how you want to brew it? How much input do you guys have? How much do they have? Try to hold that mic steady. I'm just going to give you a hard time. You guys are my buddies, so I'm like very polite and professional with Tom, and I'm just going to rip into you guys every chance that I get. But
all right, can you hear me? Do I sound good?
You sound fantastic.
You sound great. Yeah. So I mean,
stop
honestly,
yelling.
our recipe is kind of like an ever evolving thing that we do with most of our IPAs.
Yeah.
Since we don't brew as often as a place like this, pretty similar aspects to them. So we're lucky enough that we've gained Tom's trust, that he's kind of let us give him what we want ingredients wise. I mean, he has the the expertise to tweak it and do some things that maybe we can't do. Or,
Sure, yeah.
Throw some ideas at us. But for the most part, I don't know if you remember the beer we came out with, Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, yeah.
So it was kind of based on that, minus the Galaxy hops and some different addition times and temperatures. But
Yeah,
it's
okay.
pretty similar to that.
Nice. Yeah.
So, but it's always fun to see how they come out on this system. 'Cause,
Sure.
and with real, experienced brewers, not just us schleps.
Well, yeah. What's the difference? Like, I've seen your guys set up. I'm looking at, all the stainless steel over here. What's the difference? Like, what's a brew day like here versus a brew day in
much
your own
more
space?
efficient. I'm going to tell you that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely just a much more efficient brew day. And, the one thing I love is their mash tun has a big rake in it that's constantly spinning around. So, it's making sure that all those sugars on the grains and everything are really getting mixed in with the wort. And, that's a big thing. Just like overall cleanup, like everything here is just so much more efficient than what we do.
Yeah.
They could probably brew the same beer in, 20 times the volume in half the time.
Wow.
I feel like,
Yeah.
So
I see pictures of you guys online, just like raking the grates or the grains out. You know what I mean? The mash tun. And
the cool thing about that is they actually, all that grain gets donated to a local farm. So that's where we're filling up trash cans. I guess the guy comes and picks them up.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Here, why don't you talk? You've been quiet for too long.
Yeah, we got to hear from Steve here.
Hi.
Hey.
So what's the biggest difference going from your system to the larger system besides efficiency? Is it a change in recipe? Is it a change in thought process?
Not really. I mean, when we're here, it's pretty much how far will Tom let us push him? That's the big thing. Here, everything is, I'll be honest, it's easier here. Everything's fully automated. I mean, our system is as well, but he and I we may have had 2 smooth brew days in the 3 years we've been doing this. Something always goes wrong. And here it's just like, oh, okay, now it's time to do this. Oh, now it's boiling. Let's order a pizza. But it's so cool because, again, they have everything we want. So it just gets done smoother, quicker.
How did it turn out to you? What do you think?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
No, it's fantastic. And I'll be honest with you, it's going to get better and better and better. There are a lot of hops in this beer.
Yeah, there are. And I just love it. I think it's like, it's got this like smoothness to it. And then it hits you with the hops and then it smooths out again.
Yeah.
And I bet you that back end is just going to keep getting a little bit softer and softer every couple days.
We drank it day of.
Yeah.
And I felt it was a little green, but again, first 3 sips. And then as I get through the glass, I'm like, no, it's not. It's perfect.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
And now it's delightful. I wish it wasn't Thursday night.
Right. So what else is new with you guys? You guys have any homebrew stuff in the works? And
I mean, not really. Our plan is to expand our not physically, but to expand our ability to ferment. We're gonna move in here. We're gonna get a desk next to Dan, and we're gonna do our own thing. We're trying to expand our ability to ferment more than one beer at one time.
Sure.
Obviously, it sounds a little stupid to say we have a demand, but we do, and people are always giving us crap for it. We have to explain to them we're in a garage. We can only do so much. So our plan is to increase our fermentation ability. Stop moving the mic. I'm sorry. I'm not used to this, man. I'm used to being on a stand. So that is our plan, is to expand our ability to make more beer.
Yeah.
And we want to do more styles of beer, which scares me because I'm kind of a one-trick pony, but we got to do it.
Well, your trick before this one, the 21, the last stout that you guys did, I was a big fan of. The coffee was just the right balance for what I wanted. It wasn't overpowering coffee. You got a little bit of everything. You got the alcohol in there, the stout feel of it, the thickness of it. I thought it was a really well done beer, and I enjoy the Adele album cover reference for the 21. So that's
I-
good.
I'm not aware
No?
of
You
the
didn't know
album
that?
cover, so I'm going to pass it to the Adele fan.
Yes, I just don't want you to talk smack on Adele. It's a lovely
I'm
album.
down. It's a good album.
That helped me get through when my daughter was born. No lie, when she was in the bassinet next to the
Yeah.
bed, the wife was home for 6 weeks, whatever. I needed to sleep, so I'd put my headphones in and I would listen to that album to go to sleep.
Yeah,
Yes, so it's very soothing, and I love Adele.
Adele's fantastic.
Somehow I can picture you just sucking your thumb and listening to the headphones with Adele just going in the background, right into Duffy. What other female singers can I bring up there?
I remember having no idea how to parent and trying to soothe my kid to sleep. And like very early on, like first kid, and I was like flipping through songs on a Bluetooth speaker. Like, isn't that how this works? Like one of these songs is going to soothe them and put them to sleep. And I was like sold for like 2 or 3 days, like Bastille, like that band. I would play that and the kid would sleep, but it has nothing to do with anything. You know what I mean? I just got lucky or seemed whatever. But like, you know what I mean? I thought for sure I was going to hack parenting by like playing Bastille songs and just, getting out of everything really easily. Turns out how it works.
Hoping the year is as great as the beer.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah,
You the best.
good point.
Yeah, Doug actually came back and got some more beer for a friend. So that happened a lot this time with the 21. Like normally we have like our core group, and like then they would reach out. Like I got so many random people reaching out to us, like, hey, so hey, let's share it.
So if you're interested in getting in touch with these guys, follow them on Facebook,
Facebook,
Instagram. That's your two main
Yeah.
spots.
We have a website. I'm horrible at updating it, but it's there. It's got our info. It's got my phone number on it. I've actually gotten some phone calls from multiple people this last beer, which is awesome.
That's really cool.
Keep calling.
Are you a Twitter guy yet? You got to get on the tweeting.
I don't. I mean, I'm on Twitter all the time, but
You don't tweet.
no,
You're not a
I'm
tweeter.
just following. Is
that how
some
that
peeps, whatnot. It's a great news source.
There you go.
Did you guys brew your next creation yet, or are you still in the planning stages?
No, planning it right now. Because we're in a garage, I mean, it's insulated. I have space heaters that we put in there, but once this came about, I was like, you know what? It's probably going to happen soon, but I hate being out there in the dead of winter. And then having to keep space heaters running all day and night. Like it gives me like paranoia. Like I'm as safe as possible, but like I don't know. It's hard. So it'll be soon. And like we're gonna hit it hard. Like he said, we're getting the second fermenter probably within the next couple weeks. And we'll start doing, maybe some double brew days, and just really start to try to amp up production and at the same time kind of finish up our licensing this year. We got halfway there and then 2020 happened and we had to kind of prioritize things. But I'm pretty hopeful that by the end of this year we'll be 100% legit and producing more and onward and upward.
That sounds amazing. I'm so excited to get more stuff from you guys because it just keeps like getting better and better. You can tell that you guys are dialing things in. Like that stout is incredible. The beer's been fantastic. So I'm really excited for you guys to just keep doing it. And hopefully, you guys can quit your jobs and start brewing for a
That would
living.
be
And
awesome because I know nobody from my work is listening. That would be amazing.
F those guys. No, I'm just kidding.
I won't go that far just in case they listen.
Yeah. You did help promote this show. I appreciate it. I don't know what's going on with the StreamYard thing, but I keep trying to like click stuff. And does it look okay there?
It looks okay. Sometimes it pixelates out, but I think it's.
I keep like trying to post like the comments and they don't show images, and I don't know.
Let us know if you're still seeing us out there.
Yeah, if you guys are still watching, if everything looks okay.
I can see you. I got you right here.
Are you? Nice. Looks good.
Yeah, we're good.
How do you look?
Slightly less sexy than normal, but it's cool.
Tom, I would love to try a couple other styles from you.
What do you? What do you like?
Whatever you would really like to talk
I
about.
keep going back to the Black is Beautiful, the stout.
I would love to try that.
It is St. Patrick's Day coming up.
It's the dry Irish.
Yeah.
What's the ABV?
4.5-ish, 4.8.
I would
It's very-
I would
it's very
like to try it.
chocolatey.
I'm like a weird guy. I like what I like.
Uh,
When it comes to stouts, I want them to be like motor oil and
So-
heavy and you
Yeah.
know.
and why you like that one? That's awesome. Like the heavy. So we do have
But I'm curious, like, I wanna try it.
We have an imperial. Well, it won't be like that. It's a drier stout. So
Sure,
it's,
but
it's
I
more
mean,
like a Guinness.
A
But
Guinness is great.
yeah, so
I do like Guinnesses sometimes. So like I think if it's done right, I'm
we-
really curious to try it
we
if
do
you're
have
proud
an
of it.
imperial stout that was aged in a whiskey barrel that's on nitro. That seems like more your line of
Might be.
thinking. I mean, I could bring a sampler of both of those, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would
Um,
love to just try like whatever you're like. I know you're proud of everything,
Yeah,
but anything that
it's-
you're like you're
It's funny. So from like a brewer perspective, the first thing you should be drinking is like Kolsch or amber lager.
Yeah, I
The
love
lightest
lagers.
thing, the lightest thing. And if you find a flaw in that, then you find a flaw. Then the brewery's doing something wrong. But if you don't find anything wrong in that, imagine how good like the IPA or whatever you actually like to drink is
Right.
going to taste. So
Yeah.
yeah, I could put some. Anybody want anything else?
I'd love to try the quad.
Oh,
I'm
great
a
call.
Belgian guy.
Me too, actually. I love that answer. So quad and an imperial. I'll get you a taster of both stouts.
Yeah, if you, I mean,
give you
if
an
it's
idea on both and the
possible,
quad.
yeah.
Just a taster, I guess. Anything else? What do you guys want? You're good. I can see you're happy. Yeah. Well, that we have. We got whiskey and vodka up front too, if you like. Made in Kennett Square, of course.
How do you do that?
Well,
Well, I mean,
actually,
like the PA laws changed a little bit,
Yeah,
but what do you
so
guys have
tap
as far
rooms
as?
can serve anything made in the state of Pennsylvania, so we all
Yep.
can kind of cross promote. So distilleries and wineries can sell PA made beer and vice versa. So we have a couple of different distilleries on and a couple of different wineries on. I mean, the one distillery that we talk about a lot is actually a guy that's a fraternity brother of ours.
Okay.
He's down. It's West Branch Distilling down in Kennett near the Creamery and Braylock Brewing.
Yeah.
He's right next. He's in the same building with Braylock. Kevin Roberts. He was, same fraternity as ours. Been friends of ours forever, and started a distillery and started just making vodka that was phenomenal. And then grew in. We're doing I think in April we're doing a tasting, like a alcohol, like a whatever. What do you want to call it?
A liquor tasting?
Liquor tasting. Yeah. A shop
Have you guys
party.
ever messed with that? Like trying to mix liquor with beer?
So
like I've been seeing people do these like craft cocktails,
does
but
Irish
like
Car Bomb count?
I
We're
guess.
talking about that for St. Patrick's Day. Actually.
Yeah.
But no, we haven't messed with it too much, to be completely honest with you. Like, I don't know. I really just want to sell beer. So
Yeah.
we have the other stuff for the people that are like, yeah, I come here, I don't really like beer, or I got a gluten problem or whatever. So
Yeah,
we
sure.
kind of, we have cider and we have whiskey and we have wine for whoever wants that stuff. But
Yeah.
the really goal is to sell one. We haven't been good with mixing that stuff up. We probably should be better.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I think was it Brothers Kirshner maybe
Yeah.
out of Skipback? I saw them doing some videos where they were making like an old fashioned, but like putting like a little bit of a double IPA in there,
Yeah.
and just like something to change it up. And I don't know, it's kind of an interesting take. I guess you'd have to like really be passionate about mixology and mixed drinks and things like that to probably want to do that.
Yeah.
But you're probably onto the right thing. I mean, if somebody's showing up here, they're probably a beer person, or they're probably a wine person. They're probably or a mixed drink. They're probably not mixing them that often, but it might be a neat way to sell some beer. I don't know.
Our crowd, like, I'm old. Our crowd's old. So like people are just coming here having a couple beers and heading home,
Yeah.
Like, those of us in our late 40s are like, like mixing those two together. Forget it. Like,
I'd love to come here
Deal.
for a Saturday Penn State game. It's gotta be crazy, right?
it is, but like I said, it's kind of the older Chester County Alumni Association crowd. So it's really
Okay.
we don't get the younger crowd so much. We're working on it, but yeah. Honestly, this year sucked, to say it nicely.
That's not a bad thing
No.
to not have the.
No, it keeps you out of trouble.
Yeah.
That's for sure. We're not fighting. The only time we actually last year's Super Bowl, we had a Pong tournament back here, like right in front of the brew house, and that was mayhem.
Oh yeah.
And the average, I was like, are we IDing all these people? When we're, is everybody here legal?
Right.
But it was nuts. It was really busy, and it was great. It was a new crowd for us to have here.
Yeah.
This guy Jordan, who works in a couple restaurants around here, kind of ran the thing for us and had a big following, and did an awesome job with it. So that was something one more thing we missed out this year. We couldn't do this year. We would have done the same
Yeah, I
thing.
bet.
So,
But it sounds like a good time. I want to definitely
Yeah.
try that out.
yeah,
If you don't mind,
let me grab some beers.
why don't you do you mind like if we each do an Irish and we each do a quad?
Whatever
No.
you
I
want.
think that'd be cool because I would like for us to kind of taste it together and
I'm gonna get
talk
here.
about the
You want
same
some?
junk.
Do we want
You
to
sure?
lock
All right.
arms while we drink them?
Yeah, I mean, we can. We're on camera.
Talk to these guys.
Thank you, Tom. I gotta tell you, man, Tom's been a fantastic host. I mean, we've got this like awesome space back here.
He's no
We're s-
Nick, but
Yeah,
he's doing well.
he's sitting next to these barrels. I mean, it just feels like I'm in a sweet spot.
He's a special breed of human being.
Yeah, very, very, very cool dude.
I mean, we owe him an amazing debt of gratitude for what he's done for us.
So speaking of collab, Craig Augustine on our chat
Craig.
line. Should we call it a chat
The
line?
chat line.
The chat
What's
line.
up, Craig?
He wants to know if there's anybody you could do a local collab with. Locust Lane Outstanding. I'm just gonna say, who would it be, and what kind of beer would you brew with them?
That's a great question. Shout out Craig, man. Great guy.
Oh,
I miss him. Hopefully we can get together for a beer
I don't know. I know.
post COVID.
I'll let him do it because I know what he's going to say.
All right. So, number one, I'd be a little bit frightened as far as because he's so awesome, Tom, who's not sitting there right now. But either way, Tom's so awesome that like it just makes me like wonder like if we went somewhere else, like what would that experience be like?
Like
Yeah,
you
'cause we've
you
been-
feel like you're cheating on him.
we've been so spoiled here. Like
sure,
it's
yeah,
just-
he's
like I mean the craft beer community is awesome, but at the same time though, I'd like to think there's people out there that are a little more opinionated and not willing to do what he does.
okay.
But I mean, if you're going to talk breweries, probably East Branch, right? I mean, they're kind of like out of our realm as far as the kind of beer we do, but I think that's what would make it really cool. I don't really think we could push them to do what we got Tom to do, but
I think about that sometimes. I'm like, man, I wonder if I could talk them into doing one of these because I get the feeling that Gov is such an amazing brewer and he's so dialed in on everything
yep.
that if you asked him to do something or to replicate something, he would probably murder it.
Yeah.
Like just absolutely kill it.
Yeah. I mean, you could see he kind of like he entertains the newer styles, but like in his way.
Yeah.
Like he's not going all in on the hazies, like, but he'll dry hop some
Exactly.
beers and like, I mean, there's just some phenomenal things that he makes. Like I love the current. Like every time I see there's new hops in it, I'm like, I gotta have it.
Dude, you know what it really upsets me is Idaho 7, I think. And I think that's what's a main ingredient in Levante Cloudy and Cumbersome.
Mhm.
So, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. Unless it's like dry hopped and adjunct.
Yeah.
I love Levante beers though.
Yeah.
Like Levante is fantastic. Great people, great beers. I love the beers. But because Cloudy's like my least favorite. They did a current Idaho 7.
Yeah.
I couldn't drink it.
Really?
Yes.
I really like that one.
And I can't get down
Wow.
with it. So their new beer is Idaho 7 also. And I'm just like, man, I don't know. I want to be excited for it. It looks fantastic. I'm starting to learn about it and I'm like it.
Yeah.
I don't know, yeast or grain bill or hop that freaks you out or
That freaks us out.
doesn't sit well. I don't know.
I mean, we've had certain ones that weren't necessarily. I don't know. I think it really comes down to like when you're adding the hop, and there's a lot that goes into that as to how it comes out. I mean, I haven't had a hop that I don't like so far.
So you guys are experienced. I'll try to put this to you and get your take on it. I'm not a brewer at all, and I'm tinkering with brewing at the moment, right? And we've talked about this. We don't need to get into it. Shout out Beer Maker, BEERMKR.com. Check it out. But so I love Mosaic hops. I love Mosaic beers, and every time that I know that's in there, it's fantastic. But as I'm hopping these beers, I'm smelling the little bags, you know. raw Citra is incredible.
Oh my God.
Like what? I was just like, this, I wanted to like literally crumble it up and put it in my beer and like, hopefully, some of that comes off. Cause I'm like, this is what I want a beer to taste like, how it smells. Like it was really a crazy experience that I never really got into because I've always been just a consumer and not really involved. Like I have no idea. I put 2 different yeasts in IPAs and I don't know what they're doing to it. I don't know if it's changing the flavor. I don't know if it's changing, what's going on.
Yeah, there's a big flavor profile difference between the different yeasts. So, and then also the way it looks. I mean, like we're using certain yeast to give this.
What's in this one?
This hazy IP. This was SO4. It's a dry yeast. Tom thought it would work better on this one, but we've used it on some of ours before. We normally use a liquid yeast, but he thought this would work well, and I mean, I think it came out great. So, but I mean, it's definitely going to change your flavor profile 100%.
That's a good beer, man. I just finished that glass, but I mean, it's so good.
It's so easy to drink. It's dangerous.
But like, I don't know, the hop profile is fantastic. It's got such a good flavor. I feel like I could just sit here and keep drinking, and
man.
it'd be so easy to do.
Yeah, but
I'm kind of scared
as far as the smell of the hops, though, I mean, we joke all the time about like making a beer or a hop candle.
Oh my God,
you know what I mean? Like that's just like to be able to replicate that smell is like I don't know. It's amazing. So oh, what is this?
Yeah, what's going on here? Can you pass him the mic, maybe? Let me see what happens.
Hold on, I don't want him to spill delicious beer on your mic.
Thank you.
So, and you hear this about a bunch of things. So like you guys are talking about like hops and like getting different flavors out of the hops. So this one, like if we taste this beer, this is the out of office that we made. It's supposed to be a pina colada IPA.
Okay.
So it's a double. So it's got pineapple puree in it. So you get some pineapple, but you'll probably get some nose and smell of coconut. There's no coconut in the beer.
That's amazing. I'm just like starting to figure these things out. Like there's these perceived flavors that you can get if you do the right combinations with things. You can make something taste like anything.
Did you just drink that? Like, did you get the coconut at the end?
I did.
That's from the Sabro hop. So it's like, so if you use Sabro hops, I've been told. So this is the first time you use this. This is a Dan from the Blendery concoction or idea. Like he's like, oh, if you use Sabro in late whirlpool and in a dry hop, you get some coconut. If you use too much, you get like onion and like some weird flavors from it. So it just depends on how you use it. You're talking about all these different hops you like and whatever. Just a part depends on how you use them.
Yeah.
So this Sabro, which gives you a coconut flavor, and you're like, I when we opened it, I really didn't get a ton on the nose in the bag, but as soon as you dropped in on the heat of the wort, you're like, whoa, okay, now I'm getting some coconut, and it's actually started to come through. It's actually aging very well. Like there's a beer that's been around. Like we're talking about, this one's going to get better. The Dank on Arrival is going to get better with time. This one's gotten better with time because some of the flavors that coconut's coming through a little bit more from the hop.
This is really good.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like it freaks me out. Everything. There's no coconut in that. And like no, there's no coconut in that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's delicious.
That was one of the beers with the Valentine's Day pairing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we drank the beers. My kids ate the cupcakes.
Yeah, that's really crazy, man. It's nuts. It's what I'm worried about is the more I get into like actually messing with hops and grains and stuff, that I'm gonna like know too much and maybe not enjoy it as much as just being like, hey, this is a fun ride. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if anybody here plays instruments at all, but like something happened to me where like I am not a musician whatsoever, but I tinker on guitar and bass and drums and whatever. But you don't just listen to a song anymore. At some point, you're, hearing the kick drum, the snare, the hi-hat, the ride, the cymbals, you know what I mean? And everything, and you start compartmentalizing everything and listening to it in a completely different way. I'm so worried that might happen when if I get too deep into these beers.
It won't.
You can't just listen. You can't just enjoy the song. You don't hear Celine Dion. You're hearing bass lines.
I don't know. I enjoy the heck out of beer still.
I kind of hear what you're saying, because I had that kind of phase. You know, I got into craft beer and I started exploring more and more. And then I always wanted to find a fault. Like I always wanted to say, oh, I wish that beer was this. Oh, I wish that beer was that. And one of the things that turned me around was actually hanging out with Carrie from the bottle room, tap room. And he was always, when he would taste the beer, he would always say, oh, I like this. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like it. And I was like, why am I, this guy knows 20 times more about beer than I do. Why am I trying to pick apart these beers? And that's kind of helped me say, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy the ride and figure out what I like and let it go that way and not get too wrapped up in my own head.
Yeah, shout out Carrie, man. Great guy. I just he's actually, I feel like, taught me a lot about just like how to enjoy certain beers and what to look for. And I mean, there's nothing better than going in there and being like, yeah, I'm kind of in the mood for this style. What do you think? And the way he can describe things to you is what to expect. I don't think anybody, there's few people out there that can give you a craft beer experience like Harry does, especially when you're trying to figure it all out like I am.
Shout out Carrie. He's not listening.
Yeah, he's not. But
I want to talk about this Irish stout for a second.
Go for it.
That's not the Irish stout. That's the
This
imperial.
looks
stout.
nitro, doesn't it?
Imperial stout. The creaminess of this thing is great.
Yeah, it looks like nitro.
It tastes like nitro.
It's all
I'm
right.
just mixing up my eyes.
Oh
What do you think
man,
about it?
it's so I love nitro beers. Just the way that it's like creamy. It's so creamy. It's so creamy.
What's the ABV on that thing?
So this is actually the original Black is Beautiful that we set aside and put in a barrel. So it's a 9%er.
That's dangerous.
So it's creamy, but it's funny. Like some people, it's actually almost tastes flat. You don't get that like CO2 burn on your tongue like you would for normal beer. Some people are like, oh, it's flat. I'm like, yeah, it's not flat. It's just nitrogen. It's different. So
I'm probably a little jacked up from the hops just right there, but I'm getting a great roastiness on the back end that lingers.
Yeah,
That I think really helps balance out that creaminess because it's so smooth, like, milky creaminess, but then that dark roast, it's almost like a coffee grind just sitting on your palate.
and that's all from the
awesome.
malt.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Pretty cool. And then, it is like I said, Black Beautiful was like an oat type, an oat imperial IPA. Stout. Excuse my French.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
So happy when you have like 4 or 5, huh? I had 3 before this even started. But no, like it was, it's imperial stout that, oat. So you're getting the creaminess from the oats, you get the nitrogen, a little bit of aging. I mean, you definitely get some like whiskey type, barrel flavor to it as well. Yeah, I like this beer. I couldn't have too many of them, but I like it.
And speaking of not having too many, the quad.
The quad is, I love the quad.
I love the quad.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah, you saw my excitement when you said it.
It's got that it's got a little bit of sweetness to it, but it's not over sweet. And it's not an alcohol sweet. It's more that like raisiny fig kind of flavor coming through.
Yeah, the special B malt.
Oh, that's so good.
See,
So there's a special B malt. There's like a raisin,
nice.
like brown sugar, whatever. So we went like this one. This is the kind of beer where if you're not going to add a lot of hops, this beer isn't about hops at all. Like this beer's about malt complexity and fermentation. So, we went with like, I think there's honey biscuit malt and there's special B malt, which is like that brown sugar raisiny type thing. There's also like a bit of a brown malt. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different, I think we had a bag of like 8 different things in this thing. And then on top of that, you ferment it with a Belgian yeast. And when it's young, it's like drinking like Hubba Bubba. It's like bubble gum you get. And as it's aged, that's gone away. And actually, there are a bunch of high alcohol. So you got like an alcohol-y type thing. But as it's aged, the bubble gum's gone away. And the alcohol, like that high alcohol stuff's gone away. And it's just gotten smoother and smoother. We sold a ton of this in 750 ml bottles over the holidays. And I was so happy about it.
For me, that's a Sunday night football game in front of my fireplace. Sipping on one of those. That's where I want that. I think it was 9. I thought I saw.
What's the ABV?
Was it 9?
Is this 9?
I can't remember. I have to look it up.
Yeah, you would think.
I mean,
but
I don't know if we got the 10 on it.
see, that's what's messing with my mind right now. Is I'm thinking to myself like, this is a complex grain bill that's making something taste this good. I'm trying to wrap my mind around it, and it's pretty crazy. But this thing is delicious. I always forget
Thank you.
that. So I don't know. I'll explain it to you, Tom, because I don't think I have yet. Everybody else in the world's heard it. When it comes to saisons and certain Belgian yeasts,
Yeah.
I really don't like them at all. There's this
Okay.
like, to me, I perceive it as a bar rag. There's like
Jersey
this
Turnpike.
old, Jersey Turnpike, that old water, old sponge kind of taste that I get with a lot of saisons and things like that. And I think some Belgian beers too, but not with triples, quads. That really doesn't come through that much. But what is that? That's turning me off.
I'd
I'm
love to
wondering
know.
if is it a yeast that it gets used in saisons? Is it? I mean, I don't even know how you brew a saison, but
Yeah, I mean, saison's not there. It's just a yeast type. It's not anything different. I mean, saisons can be soured a little bit as well. I mean, the original saison was just like the farmer's beer to drink while they were out, like cutting hay down. That was their lunch basically. So it was just like a farmhouse ale where they fermented it pretty hot in the middle of summer and then drank it pretty fresh. So yeah, I can't think of what you're picking up, but it's funny. So like going through like sensory stuff with a brewery, you kind of find out that different people have different strengths on things.
Yeah, right.
So you
Yeah,
might be
for
real
sure.
sensitive to a flaw that other people aren't.
Yeah.
So you never know. Like you should. I don't know if you ever looked up. You can just kind of go look up like off flavors for a beer.
Yep.
And just kind of throw that like soap or something at it, and you might come up with, maybe it was fermented too hot or something. You might find something that you might spot a flaw in the different brews. I'd be curious. Like, so Dan just made in our bright tank. He just made a saison that he's fermenting. I mean, he just made it today, so it'll be flying starting tomorrow, fermentation wise. So I'd be curious if you come back and try that one in a little while and see if you pick up on it.
Well, it's funny. Like Tired Hands has saison hands. That one's sour to me, and it's fantastic.
Mhm.
That's got a sourness to it. But like if something's dry and a that style of beer like a saison, I can't get down with it for some reason. I would love to get like a Cicerone.
It's a Cicerone.
On the show and like taste beers together and
That'd
be
actually
like,
be an
what?
awesome show.
What am I tasting here? Because there's so much that I don't know and that I want to learn
Yeah.
and to be able to pick out. And again, it's probably going to ruin it for me. I don't know. Hopefully not. I just enjoy beer that much, but it'd be really cool to be able to drink a beer or try a beer and be like, do you taste this? This is this, this is that. And then I'll know how to explain it finally, what I'm tasting.
Sounds like Kerry you're talking about does that. That's what he does. Like maybe that,
He might be the
your
guy.
Well, that's what Cicerones do, right? I mean, they just drink a lot as well. But it'd be cool to have somebody that I hate to say so, like have somebody out and have some beers and maybe tell you maybe like little things that might be wrong with it. Nobody wants a negative show, and nobody wants I wouldn't want my beer on that list either because I'd kick your ass. But because you find something wrong, and be like, mother.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but yeah, I mean,
and you'd be
it would
right, which would bother me probably worse. But
I feel like I can do a decent job of tasting a beer and at least personally say I'm getting something that's an off flavor, I think. But I would just love to be able to, taste this Belgian and come up with words like raisin and fig.
yeah,
Like, I don't know what it is I'm tasting. It's sweet, it's smooth, it's delicious. That's about the extent of my vocabulary. But I would like to know for sure, like, oh, that's kind of fig. Oh, that makes sense. And then try a different beer and get and find that note in there
yeah.
and be like, oh, it's surprising that this style of beer has this or that or whatever. I'd really just like to try to extend my vocabulary and my, the ability to grasp on to flavors and things like
Sounds
that.
like you need to just drink more.
I drink plenty, I promise. I just need to
Or-
do it.
Talk more.
Yeah, maybe every other week isn't cutting it. I do that too, right?
That was the setup, yeah.
Yeah. I probably talk about beer more than most people. It's kind of messed up sometimes. Like my kids know that I podcast about beer. They think that my job is in beer, even though it's not. I have the beer maker now on the countertop, and they're like, "Oh, you making beer? What's this beer?" You know what I mean? I'm like, what are you, like 6? And you're
Yeah.
asking me like what style this is?
that good or not?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's very innocent, you know, but at the same time, it's like, I just don't like that they're saying the word beer, 25 times a week.
My kids have to smell every beer I have.
Yeah.
They have to smell. They know hoppy.
Okay.
I think they have that scent.
Is that a good thing? You know, like it's nice that like if kids don't, like, I don't want to introduce my kids to drinking too early, but like you hear people that say like they're very European households, and there's always wine on the table available, and if the kids want to, they can, and they learn that it's not about excess, but it's about, having like a couple sips of red wine with like a fantastic meal of pasta and veal parmesan or whatever, right? Is that a thing? Like, I don't know, do I just like leave an empty Citra IPA on like an open glass on the table and see if they take a sip and just
So
obviously not a 6-year-old, but
we've been going through this for years with
Yeah.
our kids, explaining to them, you don't need to talk about this at school.
it's weird, right?
They know by the cans where it came from, what it is. I can't tell you how many times my son has come to me, oh, that's a very green. Like, I mean, they know everything now, and we've taken them places. They've been, I don't know, my son alone has probably been to 20 breweries already.
My kids
Sorry,
love this
I
place,
keep
by the
shaking
way.
my-
Like when we came here for your last
Yeah.
release, and I brought the kids, the giant what the fuck's that game where you drop the Johns in?
Connect 4.
Connect 4. I saw it up there when I was walking by, yeah.
It's up
But
in-
like
it's
it
up
was
in
just
Dan's
so
storage
much
shack.
fun, yeah. It was very cool. So you're definitely kid friendly here, right?
Yeah.
Very kid friendly. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Did I tell you about my kids and their? We went on for parent teacher conferences, which had to be on Zoom.
Oh no! All right, we
So-
go to the same school, so I need to hear this.
So I log on for this Zoom meeting and I click in, and my name at the bottom of the screen comes up. Might
Mr.
be
Steve.
Brews, Mr. Steve.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So I change it real quick, and I'm like, "Oh, sorry, that's a little podcast that I do." And the teacher's like, "Oh yeah, we know all about that, the beer podcast, right?" Yeah.
Evan says he feeds his kids chew on 2 grain as a snack. Somebody had a question here. Yeah, Brett. Shout out Brett. IPA or stout, which is more fun to brew?
More fun to brew?
Yeah.
IPAs.
Why?
More to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my first stout right now, and it's literally like dump the grains in the water, whatever, and then it's like, wait.
yeah. I mean, with us, it's,
There's no like
yeah.
dry hop step. There's no like
No.
not a whole lot of excitement stuff.
No, and the stouts boil longer, so we get a head start. It's kind of more efficient when we do a stout. We get a head start on cleaning and things like that, and we don't have. That's the other thing I forgot to mention earlier. Clean up here, hose it, let it go into the drains.
Right? Yeah.
Be done. Us outside, 3 degrees, insulated gloves. Yeah, we're trying to kill his holly tree out back of his house. So all the hot crap gets dumped underneath the holly tree.
Nice.
IPAs are more fun. I don't know. I think they are. They're more temperature sensitive. They're more. I don't want to call them scientific because that's where you get into the sour land. But they're more fun.
Yeah.
You can play with more things. But the stout can be a little more rewarding because you get a higher ABV beer, and if you get it right, it's money.
Yeah.
So it's I guess it all depends. I like IPAs more, so I'm going to say I like brewing IPAs more. But I'm going to pass it to him.
I'm going to throw in my 2 cents on that one. So I would say for me, it's what's new, like learning. And I don't know, like I love to, the IPAs we've been doing forever. That was like our first thing we did. So
Yeah.
now, I'm not saying that we've like nailed it, but like, we do little tinkering here and there. But like the stouts, I love doing the stouts now. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Everybody says, oh, I love this stout. Like, I think it would be pretty amazing to most people to tell them that this is the second imperial stout that we've ever brewed.
Yeah. And it's that
The
good.
second.
Yeah.
But it's, the research. That's my thing. I love like figuring out everything there is about it. Like I'll go on and, find all these homebrewer recipes and like what they did, what made it great, and kind of like collab on 10 different recipes and make my own. So that's fun. And then to me, he didn't ask, but the sours. To me, the sour is probably the most gratifying of the beers because like it's just so many steps and you could screw it up so bad along the way. So to come out with a good sour is just amazing.
You know what I'm thinking about, which probably is why I could never be a brewer? I feel like I'm more of a cook than a baker. I don't want to follow a recipe and do exactly this many grams of that or this many cups of that. I like throwing something in a pan, adding this, adding that, tasting as I go and being like, okay, I've nailed it. I feel like that's one of those things that would like keep me from being a good brewer. Like I just am probably don't have the patience or like the mental ability to stick with like, it's gotta be this amount at this time, at this, whatever. It's beyond me.
I mean, I think you could have that mentality, but you have to write it down. You have to note what you're doing because like you can't just be like, oh, the next time, like, oh, I think I remember, like, because like there's sometimes where I forget to note something and I'm like, oh, I got to go back and remember this, and like I'm going through receipts to see like how much I bought of something, or because like I didn't write it down.
Yep.
But overall though, like I mean, we tinker all the time. I mean, like seriously, on this beer, on the 21, like we put maple syrup in at flame out, and then when it was in the fermenter, I was like, you know what, like we're not really getting a lot of maple, so when we threw the coffee in, I freaking mixed in another half gallon of maple syrup with the cold brew coffee, and then just dumped it in there. Like, let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, for sure.
But you got to learn, like, okay, did that not work? All right, I might have to dial it back a little bit.
Yep.
Or what kind of syrup did you guys use? Pure maple? Do you use table syrup?
Pure maple syrup.
Pure maple.
We used Wegmans brand this time.
No, shout out.
Yeah, go shout out Wegmans.
They don't pay us.
They need the shout out.
Yeah.
They are, honestly, I would say probably the majority of our adjuncts on any of our beers comes from Wegmans. Yeah.
What do you say?
The occasional fruit from Giant if he lives closer.
Yeah, right.
But
you got to do what's convenient.
But relating to your earlier question, Evan, I love Evan. Evan's the man.
Absolutely.
I would love to do a collab with him more than anybody. And I know he would say, let's do it right now. He'll have a comment up in 2 seconds that says,
look at Tom throwing his hands up like, wait a second.
Question, Tom.
What did I do for you?
It was anybody but Locust Lane. Yeah. But no, seriously, like
did you have his last out?
Yes. It was delicious.
Whoa.
Dude, Evan is like probably the most accomplished brewer that isn't actually brewing in a facility right now, in my opinion. Like,
I completely agree.
Like every time I go up to his house, he's like, just could talk to me for an hour, and I'm just like, holy shit, I know nothing.
Right?
Like I'm like, what the fuck? Like
it's amazing.
He's awesome.
So good.
I talked to him. I was like, dude, as things grow, I was like, you should come hang, come with us, man. Like, like we're all in the same boat. We all got to work full time to support our families, but we're trying to do this on the side.
Right.
Like, let's make a group, like let's
absolutely let's figure it out.
And he's all about it. I mean, but like, who knows what that even looks like?
Sure.
We're trying to recalibrate after 2020, but
absolutely.
I love Evan. He's the man.
Me too.
And
the greatest guy.
Yeah.
I was like looking for like, I'm trying to find like a small corny keg maybe to mess with this little brewer.
Yeah, I saw
brewing
that
system, and he's like, I got you. I'll get you whatever you want. I got a bunch of 5-gallon cornies, like whatever you need. He's like offered to do so much stuff for me.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. He's just like the absolute most selfless guy.
Yeah.
And an incredible brewer.
Yeah, he did the alarm system here. Like anytime I bring anybody up, Evan's like, oh yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, it's not even just beer. Like, it's whole.
I put the cameras in there.
Yeah. He put the cameras in there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, he's the man.
That's a sweet niche, man. I would just love to have some kind of business where like you could just keep doing stuff for breweries, and you were like the brewery guy for. I think you did Root Down, East Branch, Bottle Room.
Yeah, like he was telling me like about like I think it was Root Down, and he's probably going to correct me here, but I remember him telling me how they started barreling some things, and like he had to like bring in like a freaking like an engine hoist because of like the logistics of what they were doing and trying to like drain it out of there, and he had to like help them. So I mean, like he's in a big time brewery. I mean, they've won how many awards?
Right. Yeah.
you know, enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like he's in there helping them figure these things out. And I
Yeah.
mean, like that blows my mind, man. Like that.
That's
Yeah.
the kind of selfless guy he is. I
Yep.
mean, he's there to like put your cameras in or maybe do some electrical work
Yeah.
for you or whatever it might be, you know,
Yeah.
lock systems, you know, all that stuff.
Yep.
And then you're like, hey, we're trying to figure out how to move these barrels. And he's like, I got you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I'll weld something together. The dude, no joke. Like I gave the guy a 4-pack of Treehouse and he like rebuilt my mower. I'm not kidding. Tom's cracking up.
While
but,
I'm
like,
here,
yeah.
hold my beer.
my mower deck broke in half and he like welded it back together and it was just like the coolest dude ever.
My skills do not relate to anything.
Yeah, thank goodness for a guy like that because I yeah, exactly.
Like-
The things that I'm good at, which there's like 3 of them maybe
Drinking.
yeah,
Yeah,
drinking's
like
one of
talking,
them. Don't do me
selling
any
stuff.
I'm okay in an Excel sheet. Like, do you need that here?
good. Yeah,
I can help you out. That's pretty much like it. That's
Right?
all I got to offer.
yeah, it's
And a killer radio voice.
That's it right there. The pipes coming through.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
he does have the voice.
I
know
don't.
why.
I don't show it off all the time. You keep it in reserve and then bust
Tom's
it out.
right.
when you
I
need
got to stop talking and let the guy with the voice do more. I get excited. I do this like at my own job too. I will talk, and not get tired of hearing myself and forget that anything else is happening. And I'm like, oh, do you want to say something? Like, I'm sorry. It happens to me all the time. I feel bad. He's got the pipes. He should be the guy.
Tom hasn't had enough. He wants more.
I think we've got.
Tom is getting close to Jonathan level here. I think
He might be.
he might be getting there.
He might be.
He's gonna take the mic from me here. Shortly.
Dude, there's a foosball table back there. I'm telling you, this
Yeah.
is like a cool place to hang out.
it is.
I want to know what's up with the
I don't
drum
come
kit,
here
the
enough.
drum kit up behind us.
I
here.
know.
That's Dan's.
Is it?
Yeah.
He just comes in here and just
No.
Kicks it
he's
up?
apparently trying to sell it.
How much?
I don't know.
I'm gonna come in
Dan,
here
how
and ask him.
much?
Dan, hit me up.
is Dan listening?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Well, then why are we asking?
I got to get a hold of that guy. I'm very interested in all this junk.
He is he's here every day.
All right. I'm gonna get a hold of that guy.
John's trying to buy the drum
Tommy,
set
keep
up here.
walking into
I'm
the
gonna
worst
play those
signs.
drums up there.
Did you touch my drum
Yeah.
kit? Did you touch my drum kit?
He rubbing his nutsack on it.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you sweaty? I was just watching Cops.
That's what we need, a Step Brothers episode.
Yeah. I thought there was another
I'm going to
good
give you a very
question here.
unpopular thing here, and I know I'm in the minority.
Yeah.
I don't like that movie.
Step Brothers?
Yeah.
I'm not that like. It's good.
Look.
It's good. It's really good, but I feel like people put it like on this super pedestal.
I just have a hard time with the two of them because I like both of them so much.
But separate
Just
or what?
how dumb they both act in that movie drives me crazy. And I am the king of slapstick, dude. I really am. Like, I love Airplane. I love Spaceballs. That movie drives me nuts, and I don't know why. And I know I'm in the minority.
Just for the record, Tom, if you see me eat, if you see me do
you.
anything that I have multiple of, I always save my favorite part for last. Like I always eat my vegetables first. I'll save my steak for last. I'm saving this quad for last, except for the beer you just poured.
Yeah,
'Cause you
that's
just
right.
poured it. I didn't know it
Save,
was coming.
save 21 for last.
But I'm digging this quad.
So what
Thanks,
are you
man.
most excited for in 2021, Tom? What do you
Just
think?
not where this stupid thing, the
Yeah,
mask,
the mask,
like
yeah.
let's get rid of the mask. Let's have people over for a barbecue in the backyard and not have to not shake anybody's hand and give somebody. You know how much I'm gonna hug people after all this is done?
We're going straight to mouth kisses.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I don't whatever.
Straight to it.
I mean I'm kissing beards. I'm cool with that. I really don't, whatever.
That was a leg slapper.
But let's just kind of get through this stupid thing.
I
and
miss
move
people,
on.
man. There was it's crazy to think about. It's probably been really good for my bank account, but like there was so many times that I would be coming back from work and I would stop at Bottle Room or East Branch or, any other brewery on the way kind of coming home. It's too bad you weren't here earlier, man. I used to work in Phoenixville, Tom, and I would come through Malvern all the time on purpose, and I would stop at places like TJ's and whatever. It would have been so
That's cool.
nice if you were here a little bit earlier.
Sorry I missed you.
Well, it's just, but that's what's crazy is like I spent so much time frequenting these places, and then it just does not happen anymore. It'll be so nice to get back to like running into people on a Friday afternoon at a
doing what the
bar,
hell you
getting done
want.
work. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'm very, very excited for that. And I feel like we're really starting to get close. I mean, people are starting to let up on things.
Yeah.
The vaccines are going pretty well. Numbers are way down. We just got to like keep that momentum in the right
School's
direction.
going back, thank God.
Yeah.
My son goes back in a week and a half, thank goodness. You guys are April 6th? Yeah. Yeah.
Were yours doing the half and half, the half in, half out?
Yeah. Half in school and half out in the street.
Yeah. My kids are all cyber, and I don't know, man. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm trying to decide
This
whether
is the
or not
wrong
to,
episode for that.
Yeah, probably. So tell me about 21. How did you guys brew this? What's going on in here?
Well, it's a big stout, big boil, maple.
What does that mean? A big boil? Like just tons of grain?
90-minute long boil.
Boil.
90 minutes as opposed to a normal 30 to 60. Because like you, we like our stouts borderline chewable.
Yep.
So the longer you boil it, the more viscosity you get to it, so to speak. Yeah, it concentrates everything. It gives the higher ABV at the end, and then we put maple in right away. He added more later, and then this dude loves his cold brew coffee, so in went the cold brew coffee.
The smell of the coffee is where I get the most coffee is in the smell, and then the maple takes over for the flavor for me, which I like because I'm not a huge coffee fan, but I like the smell of it.
I think you guys
getting that smell off the nose is great.
We were talking about it here on Tuesday, and it's not like overly maple. You don't really get a lot of maple, but it's a little sweet. No, he wants
I want to put that can and put it in front of the books. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Yeah.
Like an idiot, I'm watching my computer, wondering what's going on, not thinking about the
The actual-
8-second delay that we have here.
Yeah, I've been going through the same thing.
And now it's on top of it.
Mine's pretty much on it. But yeah, like I guess what it's amazing the balance that you guys were able to pull out of this thing.
It's a challenge because like if you're not brewing a beer all the time, I mean, like the first time you brew something, you don't know what that balance is going to be. I mean, luckily when you're adding things in the secondary, when you're you can taste the fermenter. You can be like, hey, what am I seeing here?
Sure.
If you have the time, you can wait. That was the good thing about this one, again, because it was winter time and I was like, we don't have anything else lined up. We were working on, getting ready to start the beer with the, over here in Locust Lane.
Yeah, for sure.
So I just left it in there. I was like, you know what? As soon as I added, the more maple syrup, I was like, I'm letting this total,
Yeah.
and I just let it sit there. And I think it really helped. It really helped it be a better beer right off the bat. I didn't have to tell people like, well, maybe, let it age a little bit in the can or whatever. It was like, it was already ready to drink once it went into the cans. Exactly.
I'd like to hear your perspective on that as a brewer. How do you feel about stuff that
These guys are brewers.
as
Just
a
to let you know. Sorry.
as they are brewers, absolutely. But as putting stuff out into distribution more, do you put out beers that I'll say aren't ready that you expect a customer to sit on, like a big stout?
I don't put out stuff that I expect people to sit on, but there are times when things get put in a can before they're in their prime. I'll say it that way. So like we had this conversation a while ago and we were collabing with Stable 12, and those guys were big fans of saying, IPAs are ideal at about 6 weeks and you can them at like 3 or 4. So you buy them and, you might have one right away. Like this one, we were talking about this earlier, like how this beer we think is going to get better with a couple weeks time. Or even like day by day, it's going to be different and better. Yeah. So you're just the trick. So I'll step back. We had a conversation. There was I'll never forget this conversation. I still keep in touch with this guy. these two gentlemen are sitting at the bar, and I walk in, and the bartender, our buddy Nick as well. My Nick's like, Tom's like, these guys need to talk to you, Tom. I'm like, all right. And I walk up, and they're, heavy German accent, and I'm like, all right, here we go. And the first question, he goes, how long does it take to make a Pilsner? And I said, I know the answer you want to hear is about 3 months, but you're in the United States right now. So we're talking 5 or 6 weeks. And he just smiled because he knew, I knew the right answer, but he knew what my answer was going to be. I gave him both. And so like our pills, we're making this farmhouse pills. We're going to put it in a can probably at about what, like the 5 or 6 week mark. And the farmer who gave me the recipe, he's like, I put it in a keg at 9 weeks, and about 3 months later, it's ready to drink. I'm like, no freaking way I have time for that. That's just not how it works.
You don't have that luxury.
No, I don't have enough time. I don't have like a tank farm here where I can just throw stuff and let it sit around for 3-4 months and keep it cold and whatever. So the reality is you're putting beer in can and putting it out before it's at its prime. It's still going to be good, but over time it's going to be different and probably better. So just how it is. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Great.
Sean, what beer name do you smell? Viscosity. Viscosity for your next stout. It's a good name.
We have to pay by the character, so that might be tricky.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe we should name it like a WD fam.
Just make it 421, 521, just whatever month it comes out. Month
That
and year.
works.
Your term, his term that he came up with, the Stoutsman.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to use that, but I never
making that
remember
shirt.
when it's time.
That's going to be a shirt very
It's
soon.
copyrighted already. It's too late.
No, I already copyrighted it.
No, we copyrighted it.
We're going to
first.
court. I'll see you in court.
Dun, dun.
Shout out to the 3 people that got that reference.
Wapner.
Judge Wapner, People's Court.
Who was
Good stuff.
the reporter outside the?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a good one right
That is
there.
a good one. That's
That
a
is a
trivia
great
question.
Doug. No, I'm gonna look it up, and if it's Doug, you're gonna be on it.
All right. All right, go ahead.
Get her on the mic in case it's Doug. I want to be vindicated.
Sorry, I'm going to ask Siri here for those of you
Do
who
it.
are listening. And
Let's see if Steve gets this right.
What's funny is my Siri is a South African male, so don't get offended.
You didn't go
Now
with
he's
British
pissed off.
lady.
I'm from South Africa.
I have a British woman.
Of course.
Who was the reporter on the People's Court? Fuck you.
Doug Llewellyn.
He wouldn't respond to fuck you, so I'll give you. Hold on one sec. Who was the reporter on the People's Court?
Put the mic to the
I
phone.
found this on the web. Douglas McIntosh.
McIntosh.
McIntosh. That was. I'm impressed.
I got the Doug.
You got the first name right.
No, wait a second. No, now look at what I'm looking at here.
Oh, Doug Llewellyn is back on the people. But I bet maybe that's the character versus the real name.
Yes,
Maybe.
that's exactly what it
But
is.
you're right. It was both were here.
I'm taking that as a
That
W.
was his porn name.
Doug Llewellyn is your next beer.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, like he'll take anything he can get at this point.
Yeah, well, we don't have anything to give him, so I can't give him anything.
You give him a 4-pack and he's happy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, good point. Good point.
If it's all right with you guys, let's end the podcast. And if you want to hang out for a minute and chat on the live stream, we can. We're at an hour 33, dude. I heard news.
News was long.
Did you listen to news? Yo, he was on, and you did a fantastic job,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Steve. That was a fantastic work by you. But there was at least four, maybe 5 F Johns in that show. Like, yo, fuck John.
And it was all Jackie.
Mostly. She's my arch enemy.
I did not say fuck John once.
I could see that.
She's the Thanos to my
She
Iron
comes
Man.
from an ornery family.
Yeah.
I did
I don't
make
know
fun of
anything about her
the.
family.
I know all of them, unfortunately.
Do you?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I graduated
sure.
with her older brother. I worked with her older sister.
Sounds like a big pile of shit.
No, that is the younger sister.
Their family's nice. I was like, I remember I went out to dinner with her parents, and I'm like, I'm out to dinner with her parents. I'm like, you did a pretty good job with those kids, and he was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, have you spent much time with them? So their dad's cool. The rest of them probably
he's
some more.
awesome.
Yeah,
I worked with him too.
did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
How old are you? You're like a fucking vampire or something. Like I
Yeah.
feel like you've been around for 400
83.
years. Yeah.
83. Yeah, I was born in 77.
All right.
Old.
Let's wrap up work.
What do you guys got going on?
I don't know.
Hit up the Instagram,
Yeah,
Facebook.
Instagram,
At-
Facebook.
FAM Brewers.
Yeah, Instagram at Fan Brewers, Facebook, just search Fan Brewers. Yeah, just keep an eye out. We got some things in the works. This was our big ticket, so we'll see. We'll see you on the next one.
Shout outs to supporting the community, man. There's
Dude, I'm not helping them. We're helping each other. I'd say they're helping me, but
that's
we're
a
helping
great
each
attitude to
other.
have,
Like,
but yeah,
like we're the big ticket. Like that actually sent chills down my spine. That's kind of cool.
very, very cool.
Yeah,
you guys,
we're-
I think it's a sweet thing you guys have going.
no,
I
it's
hope
awesome.
you keep
Hopefully
going.
keep
Maybe
going.
make it an annual thing.
I'm hearing to talk about these guys want to do more beers. I'm like, well, let's do it like freaking quarterly for crying out loud.
There you
So
go.
let's see.
Why not?
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you guys aren't 100% licensed and we are, like, let's make some money and get some more freaking fermenters in your garage.
Yeah.
I think about the guys talking about, we're waiting for a fermenter to come in. I'm like, fuck, I should buy these guys a fermenter. Like get it going. Like let's go. I know, yeah. So
No, that's awesome. It's a great attitude to have. I think
let's
it's
get
just
it
like
going. Like, why not?
Mr. Steve always says in the beer community.
Let Mr. Steve say it.
Go ahead, say what I think.
In the
what I'm
beer
gonna say.
community, I don't know. What am I going to say? Beer people are the best people.
Rising tides.
Rising tides raise all ships.
That's right.
That's-
He always
It does.
says that.
And I've heard, Bill Kovaleski of Victory says that to me, which like makes me, almost cry because that dude's been doing it for a long time. He's awesome. Super nice people. I mean, like I might have said this in the previous one, like Sam from Dogfish. I think he said something like the brewing industry is like 99% asshole free. You're going to find like 1 out of 100 that's a
Right?
complete dick, but everybody else is
I'll buy
pretty
that.
cool.
Yeah.
And it's true, like, and it should be. And it blows me away. Like I came out of the finance industry where everybody, I couldn't even tell the
Cutthroat.
dude sitting next to me that what was going on. Like
Yeah.
everybody was like, oh, but keep it to yourself in secret. And here I walk up to a guy and he starts giving me information. I'm like, are you bullshitting me? Are you leading me down the wrong path, or
That's awesome.
are you helping me out? And everybody's
Yeah.
been helping out. So pass it forward, Anyway, what was your question?
What's on the schedule coming up for
Plugs.
Locust Lane?
Give it some plugs.
I'll give you a
plug it up.
plug. I'll give you a plug. I'm looking to add some more hair in the top. I got a bird's nest going. We'll get some plugs up there. But no, we're like it's 2021. Like let's get out of this thing on the right foot. We have outdoor seating. We have food coming. Actually, another thing I'll throw in. I mean, there's a potential for an axe throwing thing in this axe throwing setup in this.
I see a
In this
foosball
industrial
table, giant connect.
No, not here.
four.
Not here. In the industrial park.
Oh,
In the
okay.
industrial
I'm like,
park.
Jesus Christ, you're gonna have to.
No. Yeah, no, we're not. We're not throwing axes in here. My insurance agent would
What time is
kill
it?
me.
There's still time.
But no, there's just a lot going on, and it's everywhere. Like everybody who survived this. Honestly, if everybody's struggling, go support them. Number one,
Sure.
Get 'em
Great,
through.
Great, yeah.
and those that get through are going to be doing some awesome stuff because everybody's so fired up to be through this. Like it's like childbirth. Like you're coming out the other end, and everybody's happy. Like let's go.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tom, thank you so much for hosting us. It's been a fantastic episode.
Thanks for coming.
We are so happy to be
Yes,
here.
thank you very
It's
much.
been great. Steve, it's good seeing you again so soon, I guess.
Yeah, I don't like your body language when you say that, to be honest with you. Thank you, Tom, for everything, dude. Honestly, we wouldn't be where we were if it weren't for that first time 3 years ago.
Yeah, right.
You always remember your first time. And honestly, if this grows into a full-blown relationship, we are eternally grateful. It has been amazing.
Well done. Sean, you got anything to add?
Yes, just continuing the thanks, man. In the true Wayne's World fashion, we're not worthy. We're not worthy.
That's awesome.
Just for the record, not one of them thanked their wives. They're gonna
Sure.
get crap
I
for
mean,
that.
they're all right.
Well, that's all the time we have anyway. If you took the time to watch us on Facebook Live, on YouTube, to listen to us on your favorite podcast platform, we appreciate you so much. Thank you for dealing with us with this technology stuff. Keeping chiming in on our test episodes. While we're trying to figure this whole thing out, we can't appreciate you guys enough. Thank you for listening. Make sure you're following us. Look us up on YouTube. Follow us there as well. mbnnetwork.com. It's never been easier to find your new favorite podcast. Keep an eye out. We've got a lot of exciting episodes coming out. We're going to be hanging out with the guys from Beer Maker so you can learn more about my brewing experience and the guys that put that machine together. We're doing what else are we doing?
Wrong Crowd.
Wrong
from
Crowd's
Westchester.
coming up soon. We've actually got like 5 or 6 weeks planned out already.
East Branch.
It's kind of crazy. East Branch is coming back on. So lots of exciting stuff. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we will talk at you next time.